Hi, my name is Dave Watson, and I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to share with you some very, very important tips that I have found to be very beneficial as we've trained new reps with World Ventures. I'm going to pretend that you, as the person watching this video stream right now, has just joined World Ventures, and you're on our team, and we're going to begin this process of training you, and you're now sitting in our meeting after the meeting. First thing that we're going to teach you to do is that you're going to have to build a names list. And a lot of people start thinking about that names list and getting a little bit concerned about who should be on that list. First thing I'm going to tell you is just make a list of names of people who would recognize your name when they hear you call or they hear your voice. I don't want you to think about who needs to make money or who likes to travel. I don't care if they want to travel. I don't care if they need to make money or they're broke or they're poor or they're rich or whatever it is. I just want you to put a names list together of names who would recognize your name if you called. And I want that list to be at least 100 people. Now, there are a number of different memory joggers that we have within the World Ventures system that you can plug into to help you think about that. Also, a great spot to look is your own personal cell phone. Go right through there and start listing those names out. Another suggestion I'll make to you is that this names list should be with you at all times. If that names list isn't with you and you think about a name and you don't have a place to write it down, what I have found to be true is that 2 hours later, I'm racking my brain trying to think about the name that I thought about, and now I can't. So it's very, very, very important, in my opinion, to have that names list with you at all time. Another tip that I'd like to give to you is that this is a business that it's cyclical. It's up and it's down, and it's like any other business. There's challenges to it, and there are great times of joy. You've got to be around this business, whether it's an acceleration training with Mark Aceta or any of our corporate trainers, if it's a fast start school or a super Saturday or just a meeting after the meeting where we do training, or whether it's a travel party or whether it's a business opportunity meeting. You need to be around it because you know what? Success leaves clues. And you need to be around people who are having success in this business. And you know what? If it's not being done in your area, or maybe you're not having success yet and you're just learning, it's important that you get with those people who are having that ability. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about now is, honestly speaking, probably the most important thing that I think everyone needs to learn and understand. Because you see, our goal is to make sales of our products. And the best way to make sales of that product is to have somebody see or be exposed to any of the presentations that we have. Now I'll tell you this, if you're not a public speaker, or maybe you're a little bit nervous to stand up in front of people and speak, let me stop just for a second and tell you that that's not something you need to learn how to do. Anybody can do this. Why? The presentations that we have available online, in our magazines, on the DVDs, all the tools that we have, you can rest assured that that's not something that you've got to do. What it is that you do need to do is you need to learn how to invite. It's very, very important to learn how to invite, because if you can just become a great inviter to see the presentation, you'll see what will happen after that. Now, a lot of people ask me all the time, Dave, how do I invite a person to this or to that or to a travel party or to a business opportunity meeting? What I'm going to tell you is it's always the same. It doesn't matter where you're inviting to. The philosophy or the skills or the concepts that we're going to teach you are all the same regardless of what you're inviting to. I have a tendency to believe that I want to make money all day long, not just at a 7 o'clock business opportunity meeting. I want to expose people during the day as well. So I use my own personal .biz site, davewatson.worldventures.biz, and I'm directing people through this inviting process constantly to see and watch our presentation. In that process, we've got the 1, the 2, and the 3. You all know what I'm talking about on your .biz site, which basically is the movie, the travel presentation, and some testimonials that people can see and begin to understand what it is that we're doing. So that's how that's where I invite people to during the day. There's an important concept that I want you to understand as well. A lot of people struggle with this industry because they think back to the way that maybe it was done when an inexperienced person came into the world of multi-level marketing and had to beg all their friends and relatives to consider their particular product or company. What I'm here to tell you today is that, look, we're not going to ask and we're not going to beg anybody to do this. We're going to motivate people to take action. We're going to tell people where we want them to go. And this is a philosophy or concept that I want you to understand. Now, I'm a college football coach. Do you think that I tell my players what to do, or I ask my players to do? Of course, I tell them what to do. And in business, it works the same way. We're going to motivate people to take action based on what we're going to tell them to do. And you'll find out, if you'll trust me on this, you'll find out by telling people what to do, you'll get a greater response than if you're constantly asking people what to do. Now, there are 4 steps that I'm going to go through. And I want you to learn them verbatim. Then I want to use your own personality and your own God-given talents to maybe make this you. Not me, but make it you, because the concept is what's important here, not the way I deliver this message. Step number 1 is to be in a hurry. Understand this. Successful people are busy. And you're going to be successful, and therefore you're going to be busy because you've got this list of names that you're going to begin calling. And if you're going to spend hours with each of them, you're going to spend a lot of time creating busy work for yourself. So remember, successful people are busy, and this is going to be about a conversation that's going to last about 45 seconds or less. If it lasts longer than 45 seconds, that's your first clue that you're doing something wrong. No chit-chat either. We don't care at this particular point about their dog or their vacation that they just took. This is very succinct, and this is what it's going to go like. I'm going to call Tim, and I'm going to begin to set him up to see our presentation. So it'll be, "Hey Tim, this is Dave Watson. Look, I don't have a lot of time right now." See how easy that is? All I did is to tell Tim that I'm busy right now, and he's beginning to get the sense that this is going to be something important because of the way I'm setting this up. Now you might say, you know, my friends might think I'm a little bit crazy if I call and said that. No, they won't. No, they won't, because if you really were in a hurry because there was some emergency or something else that was going on, they wouldn't think that you're crazy. We're trying to create this sense of urgency. So to you, it might be something that's totally new, but trust me on this. You've got to learn and understand that this very, very important point right here sets the stage for what's going to happen next. Step number 2, in my opinion, is probably the most important step of all of them, and it's what we call clear the date. Here's what it's going to sound like. "Hey Tim, this is Dave Watson. Look, I don't have a lot of time right now. Tim, what have you got going this afternoon at 3 o'clock? Now, all I've done is asked him very specifically what he's doing at this particular time of the day. It could be 7 o'clock, could be 9 o'clock, could be any time that you choose, but I just chose 3 o'clock. Now, Tim could do one of two things. He could say, "Dave, I've got a meeting at 3 o'clock. I won't be able to make it at that particular time," of which I'll then say, "Tim, no problem. I'll catch you another time." See, my goal is to clear the date. I couldn't clear the date because Tim was busy. I'm going to play to win. If I can't win, I'm not going to play. And so I'm going to leave him at that particular point and come back to him at another particular point. Now, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Tim's going to wonder, what's Dave doing? And I'm going to leave it right there because I'm going to try to create this little bit of mystery as to how this whole thing goes. Now, Tim may clear the date for me when I say, "Hey, Tim, this is Dave Watson. Look, I don't have a lot of time right now. What are you doing at 3 o'clock this afternoon?" He says, "Dave, I'm free." I just won. Because I know that the more dates that I can clear and the more people are going to see this, the more likelihood that I'm going to grow a large organization within World Ventures. So when they clear the date, that's an immediate victory for me. It's a win, and I want you to know and understand that when you do that, that's your goal of this particular call. Step 3 is this. Back to step 1 first. "Hey, Tim, this is Dave Watson. Look, I don't have a lot of time right now. Tim, what do you got going this afternoon at 3 o'clock? Tim is free. I'm immediately going to give him with some excitement in my voice, a little bit of passion, a little bit of belief in my voice to say, "Tim, look, I've got something that you've got to see." And he'll know because of the heartfelt nature with which I'm saying these things that, look, this is serious stuff. And now Tim might say, "Oh, okay, Dave." And I'll immediately let him know, "I need you to be by your computer at 2:55 because I'm going to call you back at 3 o'clock. Now, the only stumble that could happen there is that Tim could say, "Well, Dave, tell me a little bit about it right now." Don't fall into the trap. You've scheduled the time. That's when Tim's going to see this. So you'll immediately fall back to step number 1. If he says to you, "Hey, tell me a little bit about this." "Hey, Tim, here's the problem. I don't have a lot of time right now. We've just scheduled this appointment at 3 o'clock. I'll talk to you at 2:55. You're going to love it then. I'll talk to you then." And of course, step 4 is then to confirm that date. Step 1, be in a hurry. That's your fallback when you get those objections. Step number 2 is to clear the date. Play to win. You can't win, don't play. Once you've cleared that date, you're going to move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is with passion in your voice and some believability in your heart that, "Tim, look, I've got something you've absolutely got to see." Then you're going to confirm that date. These 4 steps have been critical in our success in building World Ventures. Remember, you can't go any further in this business if you can't expose somebody to what it is that we do. Use the 4-step invite, get really good at it. I promise you, it'll work.